Hello everyone, welcome back to Express Video for All. If you are preparing for EVS exams and feeling confused about which questions are really important, then this video is exactly for you. In today's video, I will cover the most important questions from Module 1 of EVS BESK508. So our first question is, the term environment is derived from which language? So C option is correct. It is derived from the French language. So now move to our second question, which is, which sphere has the least storage capacity for matter? So D option is correct. Biosphere has the least storage capacity for matter. Now the third question is, effective transporters of matter in the environment are, C option is correct, atmosphere and hydrosphere. Now the fourth question is, biosphere is defined as, it is defined as thin layer of life on earth. Now the fifth question is, in an ecosystem energy flow is unidirectional, means single directional. Now the sixth question is, which pyramid is always upright? Energy pyramid is always upright. You have to remember these things. Now the seventh question is, organisms that feed directly on producers are called herbivorous. Now, eighth question is, primary producers in forest ecosystem are green plants is the correct answer. Now, the ninth question is, largest reservoir of nitrogen is atmosphere. D option is correct. Now, the 10th question is, World Environment Day is celebrated on 5th June. This is very important question. You have to learn these points. Now, 11th one is, the sequence of eating and being eaten in an ecosystem is called food chain. We called it as food chain. Now, the 12th question is, which of the following is a producer in an ecosystem? Green plants and some bacteria are called producer in an ecosystem. So, option D is correct. Now, third question is, which of the following statements is false? So option C statement, energy is recycled in an ecosystem. It is false. So C option is correct. In 14th question, the largest reservoir of nitrogen on earth is atmosphere. We already know. D option is correct. Now the 15th question is, in aquatic ecosystem, a phytoplankton are producers. They are called producers. Now, the 16th question is, basic requirements of human beings are provided by nature. So, D option is correct. Now, 17th one, environment as an life supports a system includes air, water, land. We already know that. All of the above is the correct option. Now, 18th one is, biological cycling of materials in an ecosystem is maintained by producers, consumer, decomposers. So all of the above is the correct answer. Now the 19th question is, organisms which feed directly or indirectly on producers are called consumers. So B option is correct. Now coming to 20th question, which is, primary producers in a forest ecosystem are chlorophyll containing plants. So D option is correct. Now abiotic components include soil, temperature, water. All of the above is the correct answer. So now the 22nd question is, which of the following statement is true? So D option is correct option, because green plants are self-nourishing. We already know that. Now coming to our 23 question, which is, primary consumer is herbivorous. So C option is the correct answer. Now the 24th question is, a predator is an animal that feeds upon another animal. So option B is correct. We are going to discuss the most important question from module 2. So now let us move to our first question, which is, which of the following supplies have maximum amount of hydrogen gas? Natural gas supplies maximum amount of hydrogen gas. So D option is the correct answer. Now the second question is, in terms of greenhouse gas emission, hydrogen fuel is zero emission fuel. So C is the correct option. Now the third question is, which of the following uses hydrogen as fuel? Fuel cells. So option D is correct. Now the fourth question is, major drawback of steam methane reforming to produce hydrogen is releases greenhouse gases. Now the fifth question is, what is a fuel cell? Converts chemical energy to electrical energy. It is known as fuel cell. So D option. Now the sixth one is, what does a hydrogen fuel cell emit? It emits water. So D option is the correct answer. Now the seventh one is, main problem in using hydrogen as fuel for vehicle is storage. It is very difficult to store a hydrogen fuel. So D option is the correct answer. Now the eighth one is, which renewable energy has the greatest potential? So solar energy is the correct answer. Now the solar energy reaches the earth in the form of electromagnetic waves. So D option is the correct. Now 10th one is, solar radiation reaching earth's surface without scattering is called beam radiation. So now the 11th question is, scattered solar radiation is called diffuse radiation. So D option is the correct answer. Now the 12th one is, solar radiation received at any point on earth is called insolation. So C option is the correct answer. Now the 13th one is, OTEC works based on temperature difference. So D option is the correct answer. Now the 14th one is, byproduct of ocean thermal energy conversion is desalinated water. So this is the byproduct. Now moving towards the 15th one is, which country has the world's largest tidal power plant? It is South Korea. So D option is the correct. Now in the 16th one, which turbine is commonly used in tidal energy? Kaplan turbine is used. So D option is the correct answer. Now main source of formation of wind is sun. So D is the correct answer. Now 18th one is, wind energy is renewable energy, as we already know that. So D is the correct answer. Now in the 19th question, electricity from wind turbines is generated at speed of 30 to 35 miles per hour. So D is the correct answer. Now disasters are broadly classified into two types. So two types is the correct answer. Now example of slow onset disaster is drought. So D1 is the correct answer. Now carbon footprint is measured by carbon accounting. So D is the correct answer. Now in the 23rd question, a legally binding agreement between nations on environment is called MEA. So D is the correct answer. So in the 24th question, which is a global scale environment issue? Climate change is the global scale environment issue. So D is the correct answer. Now in the last question, acid rain is mainly caused by SO2 and NO2. So D is the correct answer. So now we are covering the most important questions from module 3. So the first question is, which is the apex organization in India in the field of pollution control? So Central Pollution Control Board, CPCB, is the apex organization in India in the field of pollution control. So D option is the correct answer. Now the second question is, when was the Central Pollution Control Board established? In 1974 it is established. So C option is correct. Now who appoints the chairman of the Central Pollution Control Board? Central government appoints the chairman of the Central Pollution Control Board. So D is the correct answer. Now, where is the head office of CPCB located? It is located in New Delhi. So D is the correct answer. Now, what is the full form of NAMP? It is the full form of NAMP is National Air Quality Monitoring Program. So C option is the correct answer. Now, in the sixth question, when was the National Green Tribunal Act constituted? In 2010 it is constituted. So C option is the correct answer. Now in the seventh question, drinking water high in nitrates causes, B option is correct, which is methemoglobinemia. Now the eighth question is, groundwater contamination by septic tanks causes hepatitis. So C option is the correct. So the ninth question is leachate containing cadmium causes which effect in acute exposure. So B option is the correct answer, which is coma. Now the 10th question is leachate containing lead causes which affect in long term exposure. So which is anemia. So C option is correct. Now which act regulates treatment and storage of hazardous waste? The RCRA is the correct answer. So C option is the correct one. Now the 12th question is amoebic dysentery is caused by protozoa. So D option is the correct one. Now in the 13th question, an important requirement for aquatic life is dissolved oxygen. So C option is the correct one. Now what is the full form of BOD? The full form of BOD is biochemical oxygen demand. So C is the correct one. Now the 15th question is disappearance of plants and animals in water is due to oxygen depletion. So D is the correct one. Now the 16th question is noise is defined as undesirable and unwanted sound. So C is the correct answer. Now the 17th question is unit of sound is decibels, dB. So D is the correct answer. Now threshold of hearing is 0 decibels. So C is the correct one. Now threshold of pain occurs at 120 decibels. So C is the correct answer. Now noise pollution rules in India were established in 2004. So B is the correct option. Now 21st question is burning municipal solid waste in a controlled furnace is called incineration. So D is the correct answer. Which waste can be recycled many times? Aluminium. D is the correct option. Now the 23rd question is liquid that passes through solid waste and extracts impurities is called leachate. So D is the correct answer. Which is biodegradable waste? Food waste is the biodegradable waste. So C is the correct answer. Now 25th and last question is biological method of municipal solid waste disposal is composting. So D is the correct answer. Now we will move to module 4. So now we are covering the most important question from module 4. So the first question is which of the following is an important heat trapping gas? So carbon dioxide is an important heat trapping gas. So C is the correct answer. Now the next question is which is the main reason for sea level rise? Expansion of seawater. So B is the correct answer. What is the full form of IPCC? So the full form of IPCC is Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So B is the correct answer. Now the fourth question is estimated global mean sea level rise by 2100 is 9 to 88 centimeter. Now the next question is one major result of climate change is deficiency of fresh water. So C is the correct answer. Now the next question is climate change leads to conflict mainly due to shortage of food and water. So B is the correct one. Now the next question is average temperature of earth without greenhouse gases would be minus 19 degrees Celsius. So D is the correct one. Since industrial revolution, Earth's temperature has increased by 0.6 degrees Celsius. So B is the correct answer. Now the ninth question is the emissivity of Earth's surface is 0.578. Now the next question is ITCZ stands for Intertropical Convergence Zone. So B is the correct answer. Now the 11th question is acid rain is caused mainly due to air pollution. So C is the correct option. Now the 12th question is acids formed in acid rain are sulfuric and nitric acid. So B is the correct answer. Now the 13th question is nature of acid rain is corrosive. So C is the correct option. Now the 14th question is acid rain affects plants by removing nutrients from soil. So C is the correct option. Now the 15th question is best method to reduce acid rain in soil is adding limestones. So D is the correct answer. Now the 16th question is Taj Mahal is affected by acid rain. So B is the correct option. Now the 17th question is ozone layer is present in stratosphere. So B is the correct option. Now the 18th question is unit used to measure ozone layer thickness is Dobson unit, which is also known as DU. Now the 19th question is major compound responsible for ozone depletion is CFCs. So D is the correct option. Now the 20th question is ozone hole was firstly discovered over Antarctica. So B is the correct option. Now the 21st question is World Ozone Day is celebrated on 16th September. So C is the correct option. Now, animal husbandry refers to breeding, feeding, and management of animals. So, B option is the correct. Now, domesticated animals are used for all of the above, means dairy, fiber, and rot. Now, 24th question is overfishing is undesirable. So, C is the correct option. Now, 25th question is increased demand for animal origin food is due to change in diet of people. So C is the correct option. Now we will move towards module 5. So now we will see the most important question from the module 5. So the first question of module 5 is remote sensing uses which waves? So remote sensing uses electromagnetic waves. So D is the correct answer. Now the second question is relation between wavelength, frequency and velocity is wavelength is equals to velocity upon frequency. So B option is the correct answer. Now the third question is which is not a principle of remote sensing. So intersection of energy with satellite is not a principle of remote sensing. So A option is the correct one. Now the fourth question is wave with the least wavelength is 0.03 nanometer. So B is the correct answer. So in the fifth question wavelength range of blue light is, so A option is the correct one, which is 0.42 to 0.52 micrometer. Now coming to the sixth question, which is not a type of scattering. So Faraday scattering is not a type of a scattering. So now seventh question is altitude of polar orbiting satellite is 700 to 1500 kilometers. So C is the correct answer. Now the eighth question is EM waves use which field? Electronic waves use electrical field. So C option is the correct one. Now in the ninth question, incorrect statement about EM radiation is none of these. So because these all are the correct ones. So now 10th question is change in reflectivity with time is called temporal variation. So C is the correct answer. Now 11th question is best orbit for monitoring dynamic earth changes is sun synchronous orbit. So B is the correct answer. Now in the 12th question height of geostationary satellite is about 36,000 kilometers. So C is the correct answer. Now the 13th question is GIS stands for Geographical Information System. So A is the correct answer. Now GIS mainly deals with, so C option is the correct one, which is spatial data. Now the 15th question is spatial data means data having positioning values. So B is the correct answer. Now in the 16th question capabilities of GIS include data capture, data storage and data analysis. So all of the above. Now the 17th question is spatial database are also called geodatabases. So A option is the correct answer. Now in the 18th question example of GIS hardware is keyboard. Now in the 19th question information in GIS is stored as layers. It is stored in a layers form. So B is the correct one. Now 20th question is a benefit of GIS is maintaining geospatial data, data sharing, accurate information. So D is the correct answer, all of the above. Now 21st question is B10 means 10% biodiesel plus 90% diesel. So A is the correct answer. Now EIA mandatory under Environment Protection Act. So T is the correct answer. Now in the 23rd question, eutrophication means excessive growth of aquatic plants due to nutrients. So B is the correct answer. Now the next question is ISO 14000 standards are for environmental management system. So B is the correct answer. Now the last question is full form of NGO is non-governmental organization. So A is the correct answer. So thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe Express Video for all.